Yo, yo, yo.
He said a naughty word. Well, not that naughty. But
I said poop.
Yeah. If my kids are watching, they'll find it funny anyway. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to Never Mind the Buy Box. My name is Natalie Cromie, and I am the content director here at Secret Wealth Project. And this evening, I am joined by none other than Matt Webley, Secret Wealth Project founder. Hello, Matt.
Hello,
How
Nat.
are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good.
I know it's always that little awkward. I'm good. We were just talking 2 minutes ago.
We've already said hello, but yeah, we've got to do it for everyone else. So yeah, so I'm really good, thanks.
Good. But I always feel like, because we've said it beforehand, like if I don't say it, and Luke always bangs on about this, and if I don't say it, it just looks like I'm being rude by not asking how you are publicly.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to say it, ain't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I am just going to log into the video. Guys, can you let us know in the comments that you can see and hear us okay? Give us a like, give us a love, send out that notification across Facebook just to let us know that we're live tonight and Facebook's working.
Spam the love button, spam the like button, give us some spam. Let's get us pushed out there a little bit. Come on, spam it.
It does. I mean, it does. I can't work out if we're live or not. I'm pretty sure we are. I know we've got...
I was going to say I can't see us, but Daniel's just said all good. So, hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. Yeah, I can't find the video anywhere.
Oh, I can.
Have you got it?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
That's really weird. It's like not showing anywhere on my feed at all. Created a private event. Sorry, guys. Oh, the video's live now. Got it. Right. Okay, that's working. So hopefully, yeah, give us some likes and loves. Send out that notification, because I don't know. Is Facebook? I know Facebook's working now. Is it all back to normal and working okay?
I don't know. I think the whole internet's a bit ropey at the minute. I've seen all kinds of sites that you never expect to go down and stuff going down. So Facebook, WhatsApp, I know they're all in the same thing, and IG and that. But I've seen other stuff going down. So I don't know what's going on at the minute. But yeah, I think we're back. Facebook's been slow for me today, but we're back.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that especially since yesterday, notifications have been coming through slowly. And it's just been a bit kind of dodgy, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, yeah, I think it is dodgy. At the minute, Facebook's not quite working properly.
Yeah, what do you think happened?
I don't know. I don't know what the official narrative is, but I saw something on TikTok. Vladimir Putin saying something to Zuckerberg about, if you don't stop doing X, and it was a horrible thing, then I'm going to sort you out. And then all this happened. So I don't know if the two were related, or I can't find anything about it. Something's not right though, Nat. Something's definitely not right. It says we got 2 viewers, and I'm one of them.
I know, and I'm one of them.
Yes, something's not right. But Stephen can see us. Stephen's saying hello, but it's only saying 2 viewers. So what we need you to do, guys, because we're likely to end this live if you don't do it, if you can see and hear us, you need to write something in the comments right now to say you can see and hear us. So just put something in the comments right now, because it's only saying... it's saying 4, but me and Nat are 1 and 1, so that's 2 of us. Michael says hey, so we see Michael.
Hi, Michael. Yeah.
Hi, Michael. If you are here, if you can hear and see us, Andy Livingston's here. He says hello. So that's 4. Facebook user is here. Daniel's, something's not right with the live counter. That's all. Nat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sean says it's working in Facebook. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, it's weird.
Go, and then when you tap, they come back. Facebook's just a bit ropey at the minute. Andy's on YouTube, so if you're struggling, guys, if you can't see us on Facebook and you want to listen to what we've got to say, you can always jump on over to YouTube, which I think is working okay. Yeah. Luke says he can't see it on Facebook. Michael can see and hear us both. Oh, Stephen says keeps on saying posters being removed.
Oh.
Weird one.
That's a weird one. In the event that I created earlier, I did put the YouTube link in, but search us on YouTube if you're struggling. Join us on YouTube. Never mind the buy box. It should come up. The live broadcast should be there. But there is something.
Right.
really
Something
dodgy going on.
Yeah.
Tonight, because like I said, the last few, I mean, God, you know, we're here, we know people's watching, and we know that people are going to watch it on. So, you know, don't think me and Matt are getting precious about because there's only 4 people watching. It's nothing to do with that.
6.
6
but
people.
for us, so yeah, 4. But there's not 4 because Donna's here. Sean, Michael, Paul, Stephen, you, me. So that's 7. Okay, I don't know them, but we've got some YouTubers as well.
Oh, there we go. Simon says happy James Bond Day, which it must be because Simon, if it's well, I assume it's Simon actually because he attended the premiere last week of No Time to Die, which is pretty cool. Facebook have been naughty. If people paying attention, then it suddenly crashed.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know, mate, how you got to the premiere of the thingy.
Well, I know someone else that was at it as well, so it's
I
like
thought the tickets were like 3 or 4 grand. I think they pimp them out, so maybe he's just paid big money.
I think Simon, because I asked him, because I was like, that is so cool, because that's like once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, especially when you're such a mega fan like Simon is.
Yeah, it's like ridiculously off the chain, like once in a lifetime. And I was like, $270 a ticket, so it is Simon. And
$270 a ticket, I'd have gone in a flash.
But it was a public ballot, I think that Simon said. That's how he got it, public ballot.
Oh, what does that mean? Like a raffle?
No, it's like you're going to do something. It's like Wimbledon. If you want to go Wimbledon to get the tickets, you enter into a public ballot, and then they pick random, because so many people want tickets. So I think that's what it was. So brilliant film, go see it.
Who said that? Brilliant film, go see it, people. Oh, Donna. Okay.
Yeah, I know you had a little bit of a.
I think there was a couple of issues. I had a cough. I've still got a cough now. And I think it's different cough to my last cough, but I was conscious that everybody in the cinema thought I was coronavirus. So that was putting me off because the guy next to me, I'm trying not to cough, and I had a little tiny tickly cough. And so I was conscious of that. And the cinema I was in, the audio volume was all messed up, and we're never going to go to that cinema again. They've got great electric reclinable leather seats, but then the audio is so bad. You couldn't hear the sound effects and you couldn't hear the music. See the vocals really loud. So I'm just done with that place now. So we're not going to go there again. So I think a combination of those two things probably ruined it for me. So I'm going to give it another shot. But I didn't enjoy it so much. But I accept it might have been me.
I think, with the reason it's doing so well at the moment, I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone's saying it's the best Bond since Casino Royale, which, I don't know, that would have to be like a big one for me because that's my favorite Bond film.
Ever, or just Daniel Craig?
He's not my favorite Bond.
Is that your favorite Bond film, or is that your best Daniel Craig Bond film?
Casino Royale is my favorite Bond film because I love Le Chiffre. I love the guy that played. I think his name's Michael Mixon or Mads Mixon or something. I love the guy that played Le Chiffre. He's one of my. He was in Hannibal. He's one of my favorite actors, and I think he was one of the best Bond villains of all time. And that was a good film. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. But he's not. Whenever I tell people this, people laugh at me. My favorite Bond was Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, really? I quite liked Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
I quite like Pierce Brosnan, but I know he weren't
everyone's cup of tea.
He weren't a favorite, was he? Daniel Craig's been better than I thought it would be. I don't have a favorite Bond really. I think they're all right. They're all right in their own way, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I know. And by the way, if anyone's joining us and thinking, is this Never Mind the Buy box or Never Mind the Bomb box? It's literally because we were just waiting a few minutes for the notifications to go out because Facebook is being proper glitchy tonight, and I think it is after the effects of yesterday. I think it's playing up a little bit. So we're just having a little bit of chit chat before we get started.
Definite, because there's no way that after like 5 minutes there was only 2 of us on it or 3 of us on it or something. There's no way. It don't work like that. So Facebook definitely. I mean, it's like there's more people now, but Facebook definitely something wrong. There's something wrong all day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very slow. And I think, and even I can see in your screen, it's glitching, you know, quite a bit. So I think it's just, you know, playing up. I think it's having a mad 5 minutes tonight because, you know, the last couple of weeks, especially since we've been coming into Q4. By the way, welcome to Q4, everyone. It's our first ever on the buy box officially of Q4 as well.
And you know what's happened today, Nat? Just about an hour ago, first leaves falling. I've not seen any leaves falling anywhere till today. It's like it's waited until today, and now the leaves are finally falling. Maybe somebody else has noticed it, but I've noticed no leaves. It was a late, warm summer, weren't it? And now we're getting leaves dropping.
Yeah, well, I think the rest of the week, I mean, we've just had torrential rain for the last couple of days, but this week is, I think, going to be the last week of kind of the nice, you know, down in Bournemouth, it's pretty sunny this week. The weather's going to be quite nice, but definitely noticed the change in season. And I think, like you said, I think whether people are scared of what's coming over the next couple of months, you know, with the media and everything they've gone, you know, shortages, this and that, or whatever. People really seem to want to hang on to the summer this year. They didn't want the summer to end. That's what it felt like a little bit. And I know that many of us, you know, Amazon sellers experienced a really good summer for sales. And I don't know if it's something or linked to do with that. And what I talked about this with Matthew last week. With Q4, Matt says we're smooth on YouTube. Maybe YouTube is the place to watch us tonight, guys, if you want to switch over from there. For me, and we will talk about Q4 tonight, and I want to quiz Matt about, you know, some other entrepreneurial things as well in business. But I think this year, for me, I still believe 100% it's going to be the best Q4 ever. No doubt about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I do think it's going to be an uncertain Q4 in the sense of we don't know what to expect. Whereas normally we hit certain milestones in Q4. We can say, right, we know Black Friday weekends, you know, going to be this and it's going to be that. And we know the second week in December is going to be this and it's going to be that. Because of everything that's going on in the world or anything that's going on in the country at the moment and what we're experiencing now, when I say an uncertain Q4, I don't mean in terms of the demand not being there. The demand's going to be there. It's going to be bigger than ever. You know, the world's changed. Everybody's going to be shopping on Amazon this Q4. Shops are dead. It's done. It's over for retail. This is where it's at, you know, to sell stuff this year. But are people going to panic and buy earlier? Are we going to see bigger sales days in October, early November, because people are getting their ducks in a row? Are we going to see more consistent months over Q4? You know, all the different types of things. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about uncertainty.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that is certain. It's not certain at all. Not set in stone, but you can bet your bottom dollar on it. We're going to get a Q4 squared. Do you know what I mean by a Q4 squared?
No.
Right, let me explain what Q4 squared is. So if you write a Q and then you write a 4 and then you put that little 2 in little, that's a Q4 squared. Now, what do I mean by a Q4 squared? It's going to be the first year it's going to be the biggest Q4 squared ever. But no, the Q4 squared, what do I mean by that? What I mean is we're going to get locked down again.
I was going to ask you about this. I didn't know if we were going to jump straight into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can, whatever, but we're going to get locked down again. And if you've got stock in Amazon when that happens, and I don't know if that's going to be, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going to be October because they've not ramped up the narrative enough yet. But November, maybe December, but at some point during this Q4, we're getting locked down again. And when that happens, if you've got stock in, your sales are going to go through the roof. They're just going to be like, well, we've got nothing else to do. Let's order the stuff for Christmas. So usually you'll get certain periods like Black Friday, where sales go bonkers and stuff, or the last week in November. For me, the uncertainty is when are the government going to force a lockdown on us? And when that happens, Q4 squared happens, and that's when your sales are going to go nuts. So I don't know when that'll be, but you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be this Q4. But it's going to be the best Q4 ever anyway, because every year Amazon sales go exponential. And a lot more people have learned to buy on Amazon last year. So it's going to make it even bigger. What's them faces for?
No. I was just looking. No, actually, I was reading the comments. Luke says we now appear to be working on Facebook, which is linking up with the people that are jumping on and joining us now. So, guys, because we've had a bit of a slow start tonight, like Matt says, smash that like button, smash that love button. Yes, spam it. You know, give us some comments.
Pretend you're playing them games. What's them games called, guys? When from the 80s or whenever it was. Tony, maybe like Olympic Tony Daly or something. I don't know. You used to have to smash the buttons.
Daley
Do
Thompson.
that. What?
Daley Thompson?
Daley Thompson. I don't know. Maybe it was Daley Thompson. There was a game where you just had to smash the buttons and like you ran it. Maybe an Olympics game or something. But smash them buttons. Pretend you're playing that game. So Facebook will push us out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I know. Send out that notification. Vlad's joined us. I don't know which Vlad it is, but says good evening. Tez says hi. What I was pulling the face at was Daniel said fire break lockdown, end of October, half term, Halloween blowout is my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. We can only speculate. I don't know when they're going to do it. But honestly, I mean, everybody's told me, oh, yeah, no, they wouldn't dare do another one. I think even you said it, Nat, they wouldn't do another. And everyone I talked to has said they're not going to do it. Well, you watch. It's going to happen. And then you'll go, damn, Matt, could you see the future? Nope. I just know what's going on. I know what's going on.
Well,
what's going on.
Interestingly enough, Paul says he remembers that game, whatever it was. But interestingly enough, and I want to talk about a couple of things kind of related to this tonight, because it is all relative. You know, we joke about conspiracies and, you know, governments and things like that. But at the end of the day, a lot of, you know, of all this stuff that happens, you know, really does affect people in this community in terms of, you know, many people that are watching tonight, many people that are watching on the replays, they rely on Amazon for their income at the end of the day. So, you know, when we talk about this stuff, we joke a little bit about it at the end of the day, but it is, you know, we do talk about it because it is good to be prepared. But just before we came on here, I was watching the news, and I haven't watched the news in ages. And it was just on, and I was watching the news, and interestingly enough, and it was spoken about very casually, and I don't know if it is the start of what you're referring to. COVID deaths today, 166.
Is that higher or lower than normal or what?
I think it's higher.
Is it?
I think last week we were talking about 30s and things like that. So interestingly enough, because I thought, oh, this would be good to talk to Matt about, because I know that you know that you think that there is going to be some sort of lockdown, whether it's a firebreaker lockdown, whether it's, you know, a full-on lockdown, whether it's a national lockdown, who knows? That, you know, I know a lot of people are starting to talk that there is going to be some sort of lockdown again. And I wonder if the sort of ramp up of these deaths, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Of course. That's why I know it's not going to be like next week or anything, because I've not heard enough about it in the media. As soon as you start seeing the narrative in the media turn to all that stuff and they ramp up the fear, that's when it's coming. It won't be far behind that. But I don't see that just yet.
Tez says, this is interesting. Colleagues have been told to do a few virtual days teaching to make sure everything's working okay.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? It's funny that.
Please, no homeschooling, please. I literally can't take that again.
All I'm gonna say, and I know I'm gonna get a few people angry at me for this, but I ain't locking down again. You're not locking me down. So there you go. I'm not locking down.
We work from home. We don't go
I'm not getting locked down. Nobody's locking me down again. I'm done.
What are you gonna do?
Well, whatever I want to do. Nobody's going to stop. Obviously, if the shops are shut and
you can't.
I'm not going to go there, but I'm not going to stop doing anything I would have done now.
No, ordinarily.
I'm not going to change my life in any way. So that's that decision made.
Interesting. And you know what? Donna's made a great point here. Hi, Christian. Daniel. Sorry. This is an interesting point, and I was speaking about this earlier. Do you think, because the shortages and lack of lorry drivers, etc., another lockdown inevitable in order to control the hysteria. Now, I actually said this earlier, went out for lunch with my aunt, who we haven't seen for 3 years earlier, and we were talking about this. And I said, do you know what? I wouldn't, because she said to me, I think there's going to be another lockdown. And I said, do you know what? I think there could be another lockdown. And
you've changed your tune. You've changed your tune.
Yeah, I know. Free speech, free mind.
Yeah.
But we...
Go on, sorry. Go on.
No, and it was really, really interesting, because that's exactly what I said, because it is going to be some, there are going to be shortages. We have got this shortages of, HGV drivers, shortages of petrol, whatever, that now all of a sudden no one seems to be talking about, which was big news like 3 days ago. But I did say to my aunt, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they locked us down in order to keep us from the fact that the shelves are bare, or there's shortages, or that seems to make sense.
Yeah.
It's funny that Donna said that.
The problem is, when you see how many lies there are out there, and there are horrific amounts of lies and misinformation, and it's not coming from the people that they say it's coming from. When you see that, the problem is you start to question everything, and it gets you to a point whereby you've seen them lie so much that it's like, well, are you telling me the truth? Even the obvious stuff that is the truth, you have to question it. So, like, without going into it, like, one side have been lying about everything, and I've got verifiable truth on all of that stuff, and the other side haven't been lying about anything, and they're the ones getting called liars by this lot who are liars, and they're the ones that have been lying. So people that know what I'm talking about or read between the lines on that stuff, but we've been very lied to over the last couple of years, and it's horrifying, and I'm done with it. In fact, one step further, if they lock us down again, I ain't staying here either. Next time I'm going on holiday. I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm going to go live my life. So wherever they're not walking around with masks and they're just living their lives normally, that's where I'm going, especially if it's sunny. That's where I'm going. So I almost went to Mexico last time, but I didn't. But I'm definitely leaving this time. We ain't staying here in that nonsense. So,
well, I think the interesting thing, and I know Sean said, "Oh, I've changed my opinion on it," and well, I haven't, because the reason why as we get closer to stuff, then I'll start thinking, I just don't think about this stuff that much in terms of, I don't think about, when you guys were first talking about it, and I was like, no, it's not going to happen, because I do sort of like consider myself as someone to live in the moment, live in the now, keep my eye on everything. So at that point, there didn't look like there was any possibility, but I'm a firm believer in the more people there's no smoke without fire. At the end of the day, more people are starting to talk about it. More people are starting to, sort of say, oh, could this happen? Starting to see the deaths increase. This thing with the shortages, it's all kind of adding up that there could be a possibility. I don't think it will be a full-on lockdown, no Christmas or anything like that. But I don't think we'll go down that route. But will there be potential firebreaker ones? Will they end the kids' holiday, or start the holiday a week early, or extend it a week, possibly something like that.
Who knows? Now, have you seen what's happening in Australia or not?
Again, for the first time, Matt's brother lives in Australia, and he lives in Melbourne, which apparently I found out today, Melbourne has had, I don't know if this is true, I just heard it from someone, Melbourne has had the world's longest lockdown.
The police are beating them up in the streets. They're literally locking them away. They're literally carting them off in cop cars and locking them up for just walking around. They're rugby tackling women to the floor because they dare to just walk around and things like that. It's horrifying. Sean keeps mentioning it, but yeah, it's not covered in mainstream media. You won't see what's going on. But Australia has really fallen. And it's a real, what's happening in Australia is horrifying right now. But you won't see it on mainstream media.
I haven't seen a thing.
No, you won't do. But it's horrifying what's happening over there. It's horrifying. They are in a real mess.
Wow.
Anyway,
crazy.
We shouldn't keep talking about this. We've already gone too far that way. I've tried to behave myself.
I know Facebook will definitely be blocking any notifications if they're picking up on some of the language in here. But, you know, we just got to wait and see what happens. And do you know, I agree with Luke, and this sounds horrible, and we're not being me. I don't want to live in a world where Sean is right. Couldn't resist. And I agree. And do you know what I think? Luke's quite similar to me, I think, in the sense that I prefer, and you know this about me, I'm not naive or anything like that. I just prefer to live in, you know,
I would rather. Which pill is it? Is it a red pill or the blue pill? You know, in Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Red pill's that when you wake up and you see the world for what it is. Yeah. I wish I hadn't took the red pill. I wish I hadn't took the red pill.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the pill. I always said about that film, The Matrix, I would stay in the Matrix.
Yeah, you're staying in the Matrix. Yeah. I wish I'd have stayed in the Matrix, but there's no going back. I know too much now. I've seen too much over too long. There's no going back. It's changed me forever. What I've seen and heard going on, it's changed me forever. And I'm all right with that, but I know what's going on and I know what they're capable of. And it's not a tinfoil hat thing. It's I've seen the evidence with my own eyes, and I've seen it get censored with my own eyes. I've seen it get taken down with my own eyes. So
if there is something big coming, I'd rather not know about it. And just
well, I'm honestly, I'm a big believer that everything's going to be okay. I genuinely believe everything's going to be okay. I really shouldn't say this, but I can't behave myself. I can't not say it.
You're going to say it.
I'm going to say it anyway, and this might cause a problem. I hope it don't cause a problem for us, but check out on YouTube. Go to YouTube after this and check out Project Veritas, right? And look at the last 3 or 4 videos. They're getting big views. They're getting censored across most mainstream media. It's very gentle compared to the stuff I've seen and heard, but for a lot of you, it might wake you up for the first time, and you might see, oh, this is what people are talking about. Project Veritas on YouTube, okay? Go take a look. It's all factual. There's no lies, but they're in the process of getting censored off all big tech. So Twitter have taken them down. I think Facebook have taken them down. These videos are getting pulled and stuff. And yeah, you owe it to yourself to go take a look at those videos and just to get a flavor. It'll only be a mild flavor. There's a lot worse happening, but yeah, go to Project Veritas on YouTube. Take a look at their videos.
The only thing I like doing is this is me through and through. I do like a little bit of anarchy every now and again. I love like going out with friends and things like that. And you know, you're in a group of people, and all of a sudden, and I don't really know anything about it whatsoever. And all of a sudden, people start saying, "Oh, it's weird what's going on," you know, this. And I say, you know, just look up the Great Reset kind of thing. And then they're like, "What's that?" And I say, well, I don't really know what it is. You know, I don't really know what it is. And I just love looking at their faces and everything. And they're like, oh, what is it? What is it? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's all about dehumanization and everything like that. And they're like, it's like, whoa, you know, what's all this about? And then I don't talk about it ever again.
Yeah. No, the Great Reset's horrifying what they're trying to usher in. And it's not conspiracy. Everyone just says, oh, tinfoil. No, it's not. It's the fact. It's a fact. The Great Reset, our world's leaders and multi-billionaires and all the elite and all that lot, they are trying to usher in the 4th industrial revolution, as they call it, the Great Reset. And it's not good for people like you and me. Not good for us. Not good for humanity. But yeah, this has already turned into conspiracy box, hasn't it?
Yeah. Do you remember when I put out a post earlier saying what we didn't want to talk about?
Yeah, I know. And yeah, but to be fair, I've not brought this one on. That I swear you've brought this one on.
Yeah. Do you know what? Emmanuel said, "Have you heard of transhumanism?" Well, do you know what? I hadn't until Matt told me about it. Last time we spoke, that's what you told me about.
Did I?
Yeah, and I didn't know what it was, and I actually can't remember now. But I know you did tell me. But yeah, it's something that, like I said, for me, and I don't mind admitting it. I like I said, I'd rather live in ignorance, to be perfectly honest. And it's I've always said things like whenever you watch like a zombie apocalypse thing and you see people trying to survive and things like that, take me out in the first wave. To be honest, I don't want to.
I know you're watching in these programs and they're like, they fight so hard to stay alive, and it's like they've lived
God.
for like 5 years with zombies trying to eat them every day, and like seeing the mates get eaten and blown up and they're robbed and they can't eat. It's like you want to live more than I would want to. I'd be like, look, zombies, just take me.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like.
They fight so hard to be in this post-apocalyptic world and all these programs, and I'm like, I don't want to say I got no fight in me, because I do, but I don't think I'd fight that hard. Like, there's just one of you, and you're living on your own in this abandoned town with loads of zombies walking around trying to eat you day and night. It's like, I'm all right. I don't want to live that much. Just
No.
yes, I feel that. I feel the same. That.
Oh, good. We're on the same page on that one.
Yeah,
Like,
if it was a zombie, if it was a zombie apocalypse and there's a million zombies around and stuff, and I don't really know anyone, there's just one or two of us, just bloody eat me.
Yeah, I'd rather be a zombie.
Yeah, I'll be a zombie or just whatever. Michael says need to get Matt a seat at that table and we'll all be sweet. That's the thing though, Michael. If I was offered a seat at that table, I wouldn't take it, and that's what horrifies me about our leaders that have clearly been offered seats at tables and are clearly on board. That's what horrifies me, because I know everyone's got a price and all that stuff, but I'd like to think, if I don't think I know for a fact to my core, I would be uncorruptible at the thing that most of these people have already been corrupted at. So you couldn't corrupt me to get me a seat at that table.
Do you know what? I often think that when you look at, because we know the world is, massively corrupt, in big organizations and things like that. And that's the one thing I do actually, think about. And I think at what point do people become corrupt? Are they always morally bankrupt, or is it something always in you? Or is it something that's done just so gradually over time that you don't see the difference?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So this is conspiracy theory now. So you can say, Matt, you're just making out. Everything I've said up until now is factual. This is me just making assumptions. So I just want to make that clear. So you can call me Tim for that conspiracy theorist for this. But imagine if you was somebody trying to become a prime minister, for example, right? So you wanted to get elected and you were trying to become a leader, and you think the world works a certain way, and you believe in law and morals and justice, and you think the world should be a certain way, and you want to create that. So you try your hardest, you get elected, which is like one in 60 million people are like, it's a big honor to do that. And then you come out and you think, right, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to make things better. And all of a sudden, somebody comes and tells you what you're doing is not how we want it done. And you as a leader might laugh them off or tell them to get lost. And well, I'm prime minister. I'm going to do what I want. And they're like, no, that's not how this works. Well, it is how it works, blah, blah, blah. And then what happens next is carrot and stick. And that's what I believe may have happened to a certain country that we're living in right now. You get carrot or stick. And that's where everything that they said before goes out of the window, and they come back a new person. It's not a new person, it's the same person, but they've been carrot or stick. So you go to this leader and you say, look, we'll put 10 million in an offshore account that can't be traced. Do what we say for the next 4 or 5 years, and we'll put another 10 million in for when you exit. There's your 10 million already to show you we're serious, and another 10 million in 4 years. Just for example, right? That's the carrot. Now imagine if you went, I'm all right, thanks, I'm good. And then when you don't understand, it's not optional. You're either with us or you're against us. So then you say no as the leader and say, I'm all right, thanks, and you push back. That's where the stick comes. Now, what's the stick? Might be threats against you or your family. It might be threats against your health. Like, we're going to make you poorly, for example. And then all of a sudden you get poorly and you realize these people that were offering you carrot aren't playing around when you were ventilated for X amount of time, and they offer you stick, right? And then on your deathbed, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm in. I'll take the carrot and please take away the stick. And then all of a sudden the new you is everything you said before has gone out the window. Everything you stood for before is out the window. And now you're this new person that is saying everything that is opposite to the way you see the world and have always seen the world. And now you're totally on board with it. Carrot and stick, corrupted. So I think you're either in or you're out. And I think certain presidents, prime ministers, maybe people that are famous and already rich don't need to be corrupted. They don't need the money. They don't need the power influence. They've already got it. So they're harder to corrupt. So they're the ones that they want to get rid of. But if you know what I'm talking about, you'll be like, oh my God, Matt gets it. And if you don't, you'll be like, oh my God, Matt's a conspiracy nut. I do love a little conspiracy or two. And everything I just said there is the way I see it might be. So I'm not saying that's what's happened. I realize that's just a narrative I've made up in my own mind, but I think it's quite plausible. But up until that point, everything tonight I've said is factual.
And that's just your additional thoughts on top of that.
Yeah, that's just my thoughts on how it might go. You say, how do you get corrupted?
Yeah.
Carrot and stick. They're coming off you a big carrot, and that carrot might not be 10 million. That carrot might be 50 million. Who could, even if you have like 2 million in the bank, who can turn down a 50 million carrot to just get on board with it, especially when they say all the right things as well. And then if you don't get on board, comes the stick.
Shakes, it sounds like I've just joined the real secret
project.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Well, we always have this. I mean, the plan worked tonight. We started talking about, James Bond, then a few kind of theories as well. But you know what? We're here. We are also here to talk about entrepreneurial talk.
Yes.
And one thing leading us into that, interesting, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this, Matt, as well, is when tonight's about talking about entrepreneurial stuff. I know we're in Q4 and Amazon and everything like that, because Matt, you're a true entrepreneur in every sense of the word.
Thank you.
When you are an entrepreneur, and some of the things that we've talked about tonight, do you think, because if I was to have these type of conversations, like I said, when I was joking around with my friend, they've gotten this type of stuff wouldn't even come up. Do you link that being an entrepreneur, being a free thinker,
yes,
is to do with some of the stuff that we've talked about tonight, and why so many people on the comments tonight are agreeing with what you're saying? They understand what you're saying. Do you think there's a link to that?
100%. 100% is. I mean, I probably won't be able to eloquently say what I really think about it, but 100% I've wondered about a link. And because I asked myself, why can't people see what I can see? And when I could give the vast majority of people out there 10 pieces of factual evidence with real source data from official sources to back those 10 pieces of evidence up. And any normal free thinker would take those 10 pieces of evidence and go, oh my God, I didn't know any of that. I'm totally on board. But they don't. They bury their head in the sand. They deny it. It's like they can't see it. It's like they totally can't see it. And I think there is a link for somebody that's entrepreneurial, a business person that needs to be a leader. Well, even if you're a solopreneur, even if you're doing it all on your own, you're still going to be a leader, because you've got to know the way, show the way, and then go the way. Even if it's on your own, you've got to be a certain type of person to not just go, yeah, I'm just going to work for somebody else forever because that feels safe or it feels right, whatever. You're a free thinker. If you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, you're probably a critical thinker. You don't just believe everything spoon-fed to you. And I think there is a link. I don't know how to eloquently discuss what that link is. I'm not Shakespeare, but I think you're right. I think there is a link between that, which is why I think an audience of entrepreneurs are much more likely to question official narratives than an audience of normal people that you can literally slap them across the face with facts, and it's like they can't see it. It's like that you can't wake them up no matter what. Like, even those, and there's not 10 facts, there's 1,000 facts, but they'll just go with feelings and not facts. So you can give them facts, they don't respond. You give them feelings and they respond more. But if you're not an official giving them the feelings, they'll ignore all facts. And it's weird. I do think there's a link, but I don't know how to eloquently discuss that really.
Yeah, again, a lot of people are saying, Darren says, when you know, I woke up to the real world decades ago. Entrepreneurs have to think for themselves. Otherwise, they'd be an employee. And this free thinking leads to free thinking in all areas. So I think, it is something that even if you're a bit like me, like I said, I know it's all going on. I just choose not to, like I said, I'll wait for it to happen.
I think half the problem that I've got is that, look, I realize there's different sides of things, and one person's got one opinion, one person's got another opinion. But the problem is the masses are forming their opinions based on not knowing the evidence and the truth, because they're unable to see it because it's getting censored. And that's not me making that up. I've seen it with my own eyes. When people are making videos and they're not allowed to stay up, they're getting pulled down. So freedom of speech is gone, even if it's backed up by fact. For example, those YouTube videos that I told you guys to watch earlier, that stuff is factual, and they're still censoring it off social media. They're still trying to pull it down. Luckily, it's still on YouTube. I'm surprised. But it's factual. It's undercover journalists' footage of people in certain institutions saying certain things. And what's big tech media doing? Censoring it, pulling it down, just censoring it everywhere. It's like, that's just a factual recorded conversation. I don't think there's even any extra narrative on top of it. So why is that factual recorded conversation not allowed to be there? Because it's against the narrative. So these people that are forming their opinions, they're forming them based on what they see on TV, what they see on the news, reading newspapers, hear from politicians. They haven't always got your best interests at heart. And in this case, I'm watching them censor the other people, the people that are qualified. They're not journalists, they're not politicians, they're qualified to speak about what they're speaking about, but they're not allowed to say it in today's age. So when I see that happening, well, I've seen that content. I know what that was, but it's gone. It's been pulled from the internet. So the normal people, everyday people, aren't seeing that stuff, and they're forming opinions based on news and politicians and not on facts. And the news and politicians present things as facts, but the statistics are very manipulated. And yeah, there's a few bits anyway. Jesus, we've gone down this rabbit hole. It's 42 minutes in that.
I know.
And I've still not said what I meant. I've still held back. I've totally held back and not said what I meant.
Do you know what? I think no one else I know there are people that talk about this kind of stuff, and it is all linked to what we do. And I know we talk about tin hat foil stuff and things like that. But at the end of the day, we were talking about critical thinking, entrepreneurial, kind of free thinking, and that's the difference between the posts. And again, linking into what you wrote in the group earlier, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this, because I think people are really interested in this. You made a post earlier in the Secret Wealth Project, and you were very specific about a time period of getting your ducks in a row, essentially. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Why I said about 8, was it 8 years? And
I think you said 8 years specifically, which is, it's not, you didn't say a decade, you didn't say, not necessarily, 8 years or whatever, but we've gone through this period of time, like many people had said in the comments, of having this kind of golden age of building a business online. And you were talking about a time frame for when people should get their ducks in a row and really be able to make it. So what did you mean by that in terms of, are you talking about from a generalistic business point of view, get your investment sorted, or this, or was there something else to that?
I mean, bits and bobs of stuff. But what I will say is, I'm lucky enough that as I turned 19, 20, the internet was just getting going. So I'm 41 now. So 21 years ago, or whatever, I was getting into this game, and I was lucky that I was on the cusp of the internet exploding. And whilst everyone was losing money in the dot-com bubble, I was making good money. And I've made very good money since, and had successful businesses online. So I've seen things change so fast during that time. Like, things have got easier in many ways and harder in other ways, but there's definitely change happens all the time. But what's happened is, during this period of selling online, e-commerce, or just whatever internet marketing you do, there's been a level playing field. So I can take on Tesco. I can take on Tesco. Now, you can't take on Amazon and stuff, but you can sell on Amazon. And there's opportunities for normal people like us to make a lot of money leveraging the power of the internet. You don't need big money to get started. You don't need loads of staff to get started. You don't need business premises or loads of experience to get started. Education and inspiration is everywhere and free. And literally, if you get excited about selling on Amazon, you can go to YouTube, type in how to start selling on Amazon. You start going down a rabbit hole of information And you've literally, it's not who you know and stuff. Oh, if you don't know somebody that imports spices from India, then you can't get into the spice business. No, you want to get into the spice business. Go Google it, go YouTube it, start there, see where it goes. And we've had this explosion of entrepreneurship in a way that you could never see before because of the internet. And I'm lucky enough that I became an adult just as the internet was taking off. And that opportunity that I had 20 years ago is still there. And in many ways, it's even better now because there was no selling on Amazon when I started. There was no Facebook ads when I started or social media or making your own YouTube channel or your TikTok. All that stuff's new and I've seen it evolve. But all that stuff is changing. So like I've seen organic reach across all platforms come down over the time I've been doing it. I've seen paid ad costs go up over the time I've done it. I've seen previously very happy platforms selling to you and me go, we just want big corporate clients now paying for the ads or whatever. And I've seen this happen. So whether you call it consolidation, whether you call it maturity of the landscape, call it what you want, things are still easy right now. You can start selling on Amazon tomorrow. So easy. You can start selling on eBay. So easy. You can start a YouTube channel, a TikTok, whatever you call it. You can start that all tomorrow. It's free or relatively free and you can get into business. All of these opportunities are going to change and all of these opportunities are going to reduce in effectiveness. There will always be an opportunity in the world. There will always be an opportunity. But what I've seen is there's going to be, and I predict over the next 8, 9, 10 years, there's going to be a constant decline in the ability for everyday people to get a foot in the door.
Yeah.
So perfect example. If you want to if you want to create a computer game now to sell on PlayStation, right? The budgets for creating computer games are huge, like tens of millions, if not $100 million. To create a computer game, right? And you need hundreds of coders, graphic designers, animation people, sound designers, huge teams. You can't do it on your own in your bedroom now. But back when computers were starting out, you could. So you could just be a one-man band. You didn't need an animator. You didn't need a sound guy. You could code on your own and you could create a computer game. But you can't now. And it's like the opportunities like to get your foot in the door are getting harder. So you see these channels with 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they can only get like 1,000 views on a video with 100,000 subscribers. It's like everything that was easy is going to get harder, and the opportunities are going to change. Why did I say 8 years? To answer your question more directly, it's the nonsense that's going on with these same clowns that are trying to bring in this change. And anybody that thinks I'm being a conspiracy theorist, I'm not. Google the Great Reset, right? And don't just look at, in fact, don't Google it. Go to DuckDuckGo because Google censor everything. Go to DuckDuckGo and type in the Great Reset. Go to some of these sites like Odyssey, Rumble, or a brand new tube. Type in the Great Reset. Don't look at the mainstream media stuff. Go look at the alternative platforms that are setting up because there's a need for free speech in the world. And go take a look at the Great Reset and then tell me it's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. And their slogan, or one of their slogans is, by 2030, you will own nothing and be happy. You'll own nothing and be happy now. That's what they want for you. They'll own everything. You'll own nothing. So the global corporate elite will get bigger. The rich will get richer. And then the small people like us that are just trying to get a start in the world, it'll get harder and harder to get that start in the world. And if they have their way, you'll own nothing and be happy. And that's not me making that up. Go type it in. That'll be on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in "you'll own nothing and be happy," and you'll see the little thing that they put out. And so it's all linked. But honestly, I could go back down such a conspiracy nut theory thing that everyone would think I'm bonkers for. Karen's probably watching this and go, "Oh God, Matt, you really did go there."
Do you know what? Karen popped up earlier, and so did Holly, and I didn't have a chance to say hello because the floods of comments and everything that was going in. Holly's, you've probably locked yourself in the room, and Holly's banging down the door saying, "Shut up, Matt, stop talking."
You know what I love to see? There's a lot of awakened people in the secret
there
world.
are massively
A lot of free thinkers, and I'm really proud of you guys for thinking for yourselves. Because if you saw enough evidence and enough of the nonsense, and stop like trying to be funny about this conspiracy theory. No, go look for the facts. It's hard to find. I may accept you've got to be quite good, and the mainstream big tech stuff's all censored up now. But if you go looking for the facts, you can only ignore them or be ignorant to them. If you look at the facts, you'd say, Matt's got a point. What's going on here? And you'd be awakened too. So it's really good to see that there's a lot of truth seekers and awakened people in the Secret Wealth Project. And it might be linked to the entrepreneurial nature. Who knows?
I think it must be. I think there are certain traits, 100%, that go along with entrepreneurialism. Is that a word?
Yeah.
That word?
Something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not that smart.
I think 100% there are traits of that, and free thinking is definitely one of them. There's no doubt about it. You know, take away everything that we've been talking about tonight. I know for a fact that if I'm put in a situation to think about critical thinking, creative thinking, whatever you want to do, I will come up with something completely different to everyone else that is not a kind of entrepreneur within the room. Because I think it is just that way of, you know, of thinking, of living it, of doing it, thinking outside the box, pushing yourself outside the comfort zone, whatever you want to, you know, whatever you want to call it. There's a link there, 100%. But I think I want to pick up on Daniel's comments, actually, because I do think this is something that is, I think he's got this spot on a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be as early as he's saying. Personally, I think storage costs, shipping costs, and the way China has learned to become business to consumer private label is now, or will very soon be, PL will very soon be a dead fish. OA and RA, the door is closing. I don't necessarily agree with that, because arbitrage will always exist in some form. Soon it will just be the big sellers with long-term relationships with suppliers. Now, I've got some interesting thoughts on this, actually. I watched a documentary not so long ago about the rise of Alibaba and their business, you know, direct to consumer route. That's what China want to do. 100%. That's a fact. You know, all this stuff that Trump was trying to do was stopping them directly sending stuff to the US, you know, small package, you know, costs and things like that. It is crazy in this day and age to think that I can have something shipped to me from China cheaper than I can send something to you, or I can send something to the next road if I wanted to.
Horrifying.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That's
horrifying.
That's the thing.
My dad ordered, I can't remember the exact things, and I think I've shared this before, so if I get it wrong, it's just my memory. I'm not lying. But my dad ordered like I think it was like a bottle opener or something, some little weird thing. It might have been off wish.com or something. But he ordered something from China, and it came, including postage and packing, from China. And I think it was like 70p or something like that. It was like less than £1, I think he told me. Again, I might have the numbers wrong and stuff, but it was like, how do you get any product made and shipped from China to the UK for less than £1 if it's not subsidized or something like crazy? So I mean,
it's bad, I think. But in the same breath, whilst I do think that is definitely China's plan, they've made it absolutely clear they want to cut out the middleman. They want to go direct to consumer. There's no doubt about that. However, my counter argument based on that is there are still people in this day and age that don't know that they're not buying directly off of Amazon, that you can sell third party off of Amazon. So I feel that there will always be, and we have to remember, we know about this kind of stuff because we live, we breathe, and we see it every single day in what we do. We take a natural interest in it from an entrepreneurial point of view. You want to know what's kind of going on with China. And interestingly enough, you know, if you'd asked me 24 hours ago what I thought would be the big thing for next year, especially on Amazon, you know, I'm always going to say it's the stuff that we do. It's the unique bundles, because, you know, I think that's the way Amazon's going for a lot of things. I think Amazon over the next 2 years will definitely look, and again, this is something that Daniel's picked up on here as well. I think because of the changes that Amazon have made over the last 12 months, and if you're in ESA, you'll know, a lot of what I'm talking about with this. Amazon wants established relationships with suppliers now. It really does. It's, a lot of everything. They want relationships. It wants resolutions. It wants, official invoices, similar to what it's always wanted. But the language in the way that Amazon is starting to ask for stuff now, in cases of proving authenticity and that type of thing, they don't necessarily just want an invoice anymore. They want proof of a relationship with the supplier, which is a new language.
Yeah. It's probably because a lot of counterfeit invoices and stuff at the minute. I've got some Amazon related stuff. Who wants to hear some Amazon related stuff from Matt? Let me know in the chat if you want to hear something hot off the press, factual, happening right now on Amazon that you might be interested in hearing, right? Let me know in the chat and I'll tell you my only bit of Amazon stuff today.
Well, I've got something else Amazon to add to that as well. Interesting.
Yeah, that's got some stuff. Let us know if you let me know in the chat. I'll tell you. If you don't, we'll keep talking about whatever. Amazon stuff from Matt. Who said that?
I don't know. The comments are mad tonight. Luke, look, isn't this interesting? We've got nearly 60 people watching now.
Nice. Yeah.
And it was just so slow in pushing it out.
I'm an interesting guy now. What can I say? They like to hear somebody talking truth.
This is the sort of numbers that we have every single week. And it was just weird. Right, okay. For like 10 minutes, there was like 4 people on.
Yeah. That's not me, man. I thought it was me. I thought you guys were interested in me.
Who are you and what have you done with Matt? So yeah.
Right, listen. Here we go. I'm going to tell you some hot off the press Amazon related news. Hot from the team today, right? So as you know, Karen runs Get Unsuspended. Karen, my business partner, runs GetUnsuspended.com. And their team is our team. So some of our team do some of the suspension work for them. And we were just saying, like, how's suspension stuff going at the minute? And from the team's words, the words from their mouth themselves, suspensions are really down at the minute.
Yeah.
Which is very rare. You don't often hear that. Usually it's like everything's worse on Amazon. Oh, things are getting worse. Like hardly anybody is getting suspended right now. And we protect a lot of accounts. I say protect because it's not protection. We're not like the mafia or whatever, but we protect a lot of accounts using suspension safeguard as part of BuyBot Pro. And so we know when the poop's hitting the fan, we know because of those protected accounts, we help them. The suspension safeguard crew help them. Hardly anybody's getting suspended right now. The people that are having problems are for stuff that they've actually done wrong. So what you don't want to be doing is what do you call it? Invoices. What do you call it, Nat? When you're naughty with an invoice. You know what I'm trying to say, don't you?
Changing like an invoice or
I can't think of the word either.
I can't think of the word.
Tell us the word we're looking. Tell us the word we're looking for in chat, guys. But basically,
it's forged.
Maybe forged. Is that the word?
Manipulated.
Yeah, manipulated. Yeah. So that is pretty much all anybody's getting suspended for at the minute. Manipulated invoices. So if you're messing around with that stuff, Amazon are getting hot on it and you're going to get in trouble. But if you don't do that, right now, it's never been a better time, a safer time to sell on Amazon.
I think it's really safe. I agree. I'm not seeing it in the groups. Yeah. I'm not seeing, not seeing people complain. I think, and I can't remember who posted it. Someone posted something about, the authenticity. And I think it was an IP complaint, something like that. And it might have been Steve Wright, actually. Someone posted and said, do you know what? He managed to get through and speak to someone really helpful on Amazon, which is a miracle in itself. And, they were very, very clear and said the fact that, do you know what? Amazon don't necessarily want you to delete your products, get rid of them. They want resolution. They want you to go to the supplier and say, let's sort this out. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, Amazon really, I know this is contrary to what the actions they take, But they don't want stuff being deleted off Amazon if it's legit and it's right and things like that, because they want to be able to offer the world's biggest variety of products. So they don't necessarily, I know that is the opposite to what Amazon act and do, but because it's Amazon is such a big machine, things get lost in translation along the way. But I do think for sure one of the big things that people will really, and picking up on Matt's post this morning, which I 100% agree with, I feel the big opportunity is going to be with private label next year. And you're going to think, what? Why are you saying that? That's crazy. I think for a lot of people, especially after Brexit, let's not go down that rabbit hole. But, you know, I think for private label sellers in particular, what you're going to see over the next 12 months is going to be very different to what we've seen over the coming 12 months to the last 12 months. Amazon has made it very, very clear that they want people to go down this kind of route. And interestingly, in the last 24 hours, I don't know if anyone's heard this, because this is really hot off the press, actually. Not a lot. I haven't seen anyone talking about this yet. Shipping prices in the last 24 hours have halved.
For who?
For everybody.
What, you don't mean containers coming from China?
Yeah, containers.
Containers coming from China.
The price has halved. We got up to like 20,000 odd pounds or $20,000 odd dollars for a full container overnight in the last 24 hours. Go and check it. If you know, go and look it up. I read a news article about it earlier, and it's very quiet. You know, not a lot of people are talking about it yet. They've literally halved overnight,
which is still about 2.5-3 times more than they were.
Absolutely, but people are starting to say it's on the way down. It's going the way down. So I think with what we're seeing with the rise of the Amazon aggregators over the last 12 months, I think exactly what you're saying. It's not last chance hotel. I don't think that whatsoever. But in the next couple of years, if you want to really seriously think about creating your own brand, creating your own products on Amazon to sell, not just on Amazon, but also, you know, through the other platforms and things like that. I think the opportunities over the next 12 months, if you know what you're doing, you hit it right, you hit the market right, you know how to balance, you know, you don't just watch some crappy YouTube about, oh, how do I get a 10 out of 10 on, you know, of an optimization. If you understand what Amazon want, you hit the note correctly with the aggregators that are coming into the space, you could realistically go from 0 to a 7-figure brand in 12 months. And you could sell that 7-figure brand on Amazon to one of these aggregators, and you can walk away with a 7-figure payday. And that could happen in as short as up to 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah, no, I totally see that, and I agree. I think the chance of you being able to launch a private label brand in 2030 on Amazon and get anywhere with it is probably greatly reduced if you're even able to do it from what it is now. But we're in 2021. Yeah, that's right. Isn't it? We're in 2021. That's nine-ish years away, right? 8.5 years away, or whatever. It's quite a way away. That, but you can still do it now. Private label, I've seen it get harder and harder over the years. You can't do what you used to be able to do, but you still do see people starting from scratch and making good money at it. I've just seen a lot more people lose money at it. But my point is, 8 years from now, you ain't going to be able to do it, probably, or at least not as easy as it is right now. So yeah, your window for private label is, I mean, you got to do it if you're going to do it. Next year, like Nat says, that's the time.
I think next year is going to be the year for private label for people that are maybe in the arbitrage space, that may be thinking about it. And I think it would have been this year for a lot of people, because obviously the pandemic over the last 12 months has boosted people's businesses. And they might be thinking about, okay, this is going really well for me. They might have left their job, but, you know, I don't want to put all my eggs in this one particular Amazon basket. Maybe I've outsourced. Maybe I've got some VAs. Maybe I'm now using a prep center. My time has been freed up. What's the next logical step? Personally, I do feel, sort of unique bundles, private labels, whatever way you want to look in it, but having that additional income, possibly opening a new account, creating a brand, because it's all about creating a brand. If you want to go down the private label route, that is what you have to do. It's as simple as that.
Nat, are you going to be teaching that in Elite Sellers Academy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, if you're not a member of Elite Sellers Academy, what are you doing?
We are seriously going to go down. The guys from Elite Sellers already know how much I talk about, branding, registered brands and everything like that on Amazon anyway, for the type of private label that we do within Elite Sellers. But next year, we are definitely going to look to take that step and getting people selling transatlantically, getting people selling in, the different marketplaces and things like that, because it's a big world out there. And Amazon gives us the opportunity to sell, in different currencies, in different countries around the world. And what's really, really interesting is if you do end up going, because, we sell private label in the US, and that's been a real eye-opener for me in particular, because I really struggle to outsource things. I really struggle to let go of things. It's why, vanilla arbitrage, I could never take it to that level where I would put it through a prep center and get a VA. I was like a helicopter, like hovering over it kind of thing. I wanted to not lose control of the sourcing. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. Whereas launching the private label in America, in the US, I've got no choice. I have to outsource it all. There's no choice about it. And what an eye-opener. What an eye-opener it's been to me. And what's really interesting, 5 years down the line of, being involved in this business in various different things, is learning something and being exposed to something new. And I think it's why it's so, so important to be able to keep your mind open. And that's what we do in Elite Sellers, is we open, different doors, different opportunities. Like we're doing wholesale training at the moment. Now, wholesale training is not going to be for everyone. It's as simple as that. Not everyone wants to buy and sell in bulk on Amazon, but for some people, it really floats their boat. That's what they want to do. They want that type of market. Whereas, other people, when we've done our unique bundling, we've had people that have literally given up vanilla arbitrage because they've fallen in love with bundling. We've had people that want to listen to the way that Luke does it, the high volume kind of model.
I've seen people in Elite Sellers Academy totally change what they do when they joined, and it literally change the game for them in big way. I don't want to make this, Paul says, shameless plug time, Matt. Yeah. I don't want to make it like that, but Luke did say Nat's branding training in Elite Sellers Academy is incredible. And Jodie's just said, I love the wholesale training.
And that's what I love. We talk about different things. It's not just about one area. If you want to become, top arbitrage sellers or whatever, then you watch Luke's training, Luke Dugan's training. He's phenomenal in the way that he analyzes things. He does phenomenally well. If you want to learn about branding, then watch some of my training. If you want to do wholesale, all these different types of things. So yeah, it's different strokes for different folks, really.
So I want to show you this. I don't know if I've got the updated version of it. I don't think I have, but what am I doing? Let me show you this. So for anybody that uses BuyBot Pro, I guess everybody knows here already, but I'm a co-founder of BuyBot Pro. But for anybody that uses BuyBot Pro, and this is not the latest updated version of it. We've had a new build. We've definitely had another build or two come out. So I've not updated this. But anybody that uses the mobile app that's been frustrated with it being rubbish, well, I've been frustrated with it being rubbish too, which is why we've had it rebuilt. And it should be out with everybody that uses BuyBot Pro for free this week. So it'll be included with the BuyBot Pro subscription this week. So, and this is the new BuyBot Pro mobile, which is now called
BuyBot Go.
So I don't know if you can see that all right, but it's been totally redesigned from the ground up. It's got interactive keeper style charts on there that you can zoom in on, and
nice.
You can do all kind of stuff. Full analysis, competition analysis. You can queue stuff up if you've not got no internet, and then when it finds internet, it churns through your queue. It's really, really, really getting there. It's really sexy now, and we are that far away from pushing it out to you, so it should be this week.
So just to confirm for everybody watching, if you are an existing BuyBot Pro user, you will automatically get BuyBot Go. When I know, I was like, yeah, did I say BuyBot? You will automatically get that included. If you are not an existing BuyBot Pro user, can you get BuyBot Pro, BuyBot Go separately or not?
Not yet. I don't think so. Not yet. Maybe in the future we will, but currently no. So BuyBot Go will only be available, as far as I'm aware, with a BuyBot Pro subscription. So, but I like heard it here first, and I'm not trying to make this into some sales thing. I'm really not. But I could screenshot messages whereby I've said to Karen, we're putting our prices up on BuyBot Pro. We are. It won't be up for everybody that's already a current customer. You'll just pay the current price. But we are going to put the prices up at BuyBot Pro. Once this app's out and stable, the price is going up. So whether it's next week, week after, I don't know. But at some point, BuyBot Pro price is going up forever. But if you get in before that, you always just pay the price you joined at. That's how we work with everything. So I'm not trying to make that a plug, but BuyBot Go's almost there. And we've got a tester that moaned about BuyBot Pro Mobile. And she said to us, she says, BuyBot Go is perfect. Her words, not mine. Now, it ain't perfect yet because I'm still pixel pirating, but it's getting there. It's getting real solid now, cool. Which is really exciting.
BuyBot Go is Pro.
Yeah, there you go. BuyBot Go, the idea being you've got BuyBot Pro on the go. It's like BuyBot Go. Yeah.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think it's great. It's one of those names that when you guys came up with it, you're like, why didn't anyone think of that before?
No. I know that I think I've shared it before, but that one of our devs at Bourneville is Easter egg.
Yes, I remember you said that. You said that was on there last time. Karen said Amazon have never wanted to get involved in IP issues. And that comes from Queen Karen, who absolutely knows everything there is to know about suspension. They've always pushed sellers to try and sort it out between themselves. Absolutely. That's definitely 100%. And I think it's becoming, more widely known that Amazon want people to do that. But yeah, Amazon definitely wants sellers to start building relationships with suppliers. You heard that here first in terms of what they're going to want moving forward, especially if you're going to be selling branded goods moving forward. It's not going to be a requirement tomorrow, but I think in the next couple of years, I think you will have to prove some sort of relationship with a authorized supplier at some point. I think that is something that's definitely going to be coming at some point in the future.
I just know that people have been saying OA, RA, drop shipping, wholesale, private label, is all dying. It's all going to be over on Amazon. They've been saying that since I started on Amazon, and that was, I don't know when that was, but I mean, are we on 5-6 years ago or something like that? I don't know what it is.
Oh, it will never die. It will never die, but it does change.
It does change. It does change. But there's always doom and gloomers, and I'm not saying that's what you are, Nat. I know you're super positive about Amazon, absolutely. But like this opportunity will evolve. Selling on Amazon will evolve, but it ain't going anywhere. It's just not. It's too much. It's too much of the revenue. It's too big. The reason they get out of like antitrust lawsuits and monopolistic issues is partially connections and whatever, but partially it's because they've got millions of small businesses on there. You take the millions of small businesses away, all of a sudden Amazon's looking big and powerful, and all those people that are shouting, "Yay, go Amazon!" from the rooftops, all of a sudden be like, "Hang on, they're a bit too powerful." So I think it's in Amazon's best interest to allow reselling to continue and selling on platform, and I think it will continue for the foreseeable future. Who knows, in 2030, maybe we'll own nothing and be happy. Maybe we'll be renting stuff from Amazon. We'll see. But
as long as I'm happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, I won't be happy when the globalists own everything and expect me to own nothing. Not when I've sacrificed and worked so hard for what I have got. I'm going to keep it all, thanks. You globalist psychos.
Hunger Games style. Right, if you've got time, Matt, let's go through a couple of these questions that were asked earlier, because we did promise to get. No, we have talked about entrepreneurial stuff, definitely, but a couple of questions that I, wanted to kind of run through and got you on here because over your entrepreneurial journey, and again, this is talking about having that kind of frame of mind. You've made money a lot of different ways, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, loads of different ways. And again, I already know the answer to this, so it's not really going to be, and I'm sure everyone else does, but to be a true entrepreneur, you do need to have that chameleon kind of,
you got the ability to change and evolve or you die.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know that, so that's not clear. And I think, from an outside looking in, if you're not an entrepreneur, you might look at something yourself that's been completely self-sufficient, entrepreneur, millions of pounds produced, you've done this, you've done that. Outside looking in, some people might say, we're exactly the same. We've, what we're doing now, we weren't doing 5 years ago. What we were doing 5 years before that, we weren't doing 5 years before that. And I think sometimes people can look at that and think, oh, that's a bit flitty. You're not really, but it is proof of adapt or die, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. Yeah. What out of the last 20 years, what have you enjoyed the most? What's floated your boat the most?
Honestly, live events. Mm-hmm. I love them. Not the most financially profitable. I barely made any money from live events, like not zero, but not even a year's full-time wage have I made from live events. But every time I've done them, they absolutely tick every box for me. I love it. Live events. I even loved when I weren't speaking on stage and it was just my event. I even enjoyed that, the one that you spoke at, Nat. I booked too many speakers, so I intended to speak at that one, and I'd booked everyone up, so I had to give up my space. And I love speaking. I love speaking on stage. I love those live events. I love meeting people. I love the networking side of it. So I love that. I really love that live stuff. It might not be, I don't know, it's probably up there with the best. I don't know if it's the ultimate best, but off the top of my head, live events, love them.
That's interesting. So I've never asked you that question before. Now, this is a great question from Johnny, actually, and I'll read it as it stands. So I don't know if it's 100% right, but Johnny says, I understand that Matt took a break from his company this year, and still grew without him. Mega impressive. What staff hierarchy does he have, and how long did it take him to get to this point?
Okay, so great question. Firstly, I'm not sure what time he means I had off.
I think he refers to you not being the face of the Secret Wealth Project anymore. Possibly, maybe.
Okay. If he means when I had COVID, then I was spending it only a few weeks. So maybe.
Oh no, he said this year. So I think it's more maybe you stepping back, being behind the scenes a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what time frame he means, but ask me this second bit of the question, that because I stuck on that bit, but ask me the second bit again.
So what staff hierarchy do you have in place, and how long did it get to that point?
So I've got multiple business partners, you being one of them, Nat, but I'm not going to talk about you or others. I'm just going to talk about what he'll probably consider to be my primary businesses. Mm-hmm. I've got an amazing business partner, and she might still be here listening. I'm hoping she's not, because she'll go, oh, I'm amazing. But I've got an amazing business partner, Karen, that I couldn't do what I do without. So in terms of how many people are on our team, I don't know, but maybe 35 people or something like that. And I think people get shocked when they hear that kind of thing. It might be 40, I don't know, because we keep recruiting people. And they're not all Filipinos or anything like that, but like she's great at doing this stuff I'm not so great at. So if it was just me, I would probably have a business partner or two, maybe, and we'd be doing little projects together, and that maybe I got an assistant or two, but it would be very small, tight-knit team. But Karen enables me to do that bigger stuff.
Yeah.
So Karen's very much of the mindset of she's not really interested in making any money right now. As long as she can pay her bills and a mortgage, she's happy. She's more interested in building something amazing for the future. And she calls it her chapters. So this chapter, for her is not about making money. It's about building stuff, growing stuff, putting teams in place. You know, it's about working hard and all that stuff. But the truth is, without Karen, I wouldn't have 35 people or whatever it is in the team. We'd be a lot smaller. Because I'm good at being me. I'm not so good at replicating me. So get a good business partner that's good at that stuff is answer number one. But I don't want to sell myself short in that. I will say that we're currently reorganizing our structure because we are trying to do too much. And as you all know, I've always said, laser focus is everything. Stick to one thing, give it all your attention, and that will grow. And when you try to do too much, everything suffers. And Karen's very much of a, no, let's do everything type person. And it gets difficult. So we've restructured it so that we've now got project managers, if you like. So we've got one project manager. So we've got me and Karen that are business owners, if you like. And then Karen has a lot to do with the day-to-day operations of the companies. So she's very much instrumental in day-to-day. But there is underneath Karen, you would say, and me, you would say, there's a project manager who has 3 projects, and then another project manager, and we've only done this from last week or the week before, another project manager that's got 2.5 projects, I think it is. And then Karen and I, more Karen than me, but Karen and I have got 2 projects. So instead of what we had like a month ago, it was like me, Karen, one kind of overall manager, and then we had another kind of overall manager, and then a bunch of people beneath it. But it meant that we were all spread too thin. So now we've compartmentalized it a little bit into silos, so that you've got, like I say, 2 or 3 projects for one project manager, if you like. And then we've got coders, so coding team for each of those projects. So different coding team for one project, another coding team for another project, another coding team for another project, all the way through. And then we've got support staff that primarily on the stuff that's out there. So we've got support teams underneath that's on the projects that are out there. And I call them our, not money projects, what I call our live projects, but live projects, if you like. And then we've got pipeline projects, and then we've got pipeline partner projects. So, and that's how we've divided them up. So our live make money, the ones that are actually paying everybody's wages, projects are under one project manager. Pipeline projects are under partner pipeline projects are under another project manager. And then me and Karen are doing our pipeline projects, not the partner pipeline projects. So the pipeline projects are just stuff coming down the line. So projects a year, 2 years from now. And that's about it. We've got a few other bits and bobs, like the odd outsourcer and stuff in there, but basically it's siloed like that. Hopefully that explains it. I don't know if that was clear as mud or not, but
no, it definitely explained it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing is you found you and Karen complement each other perfectly. Yeah, and I've witnessed that. I see you behind the scenes, both together, and you have to find that partner that complements you. You have to find that partner that and it doesn't mean necessarily, like you said, you're not selling yourself short. You just have different skills. There's no doubt about it, and you have to find that person
on the operational side of things. I'd like to think I'm a small hinge that swings big doors. So when I think of changes, when I implement stuff, it usually makes a big impact. But I don't do it all day every day. Whereas Karen is very much she can look at all the projects all happening at once and know what's going on and direct it all like a conductor. She's like really good at that. I'm not good at that.
It is a really special set of skills that Karen's got. There is no doubt about it.
She's amazing, and I couldn't do what I do without her. But what I do is I'm disconnected from operations enough that I can see things that maybe everybody else can't because they're too involved. And then I come in and I'm a little hinge that swings a big door and it makes a big change, and it helps massively. But it may be not constantly me there all the time. I'm not not dead involved in that stuff. So that's kind of it.
But it's taken you 4 years maybe to get to that point about that?
Ish, 4 years. And we're still finding our way. Like I say, we only just implemented that change recently. and we'll see how it goes and see what happens.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
This is an interesting. It's still Johnny as well. I know we're going to be conscious of time. Kickstarter apprentice scheme. Is that anything you guys have gone down the route of within your business, within that side of your business?
We've got an apprentice, but not a Kickstarter. That Kickstarter thing, that's 6 months free in it, provided by the government.
I think so. Yeah, and I think you get costs for like computers and
Oh, really?
I think it's the only thing that is still going to exist outside of the pandemic stuff, like furloughs ending this month or last month or whatever. Yeah. I think it's the only thing that the government's continuing on with. I think that's what I understand it to be.
Yeah, no, we've got an apprentice, but it was I don't know if it was prior to that scheme, but just as that scheme was coming out, we was getting an apprentice. So it works different. We pay them a wage. But they're a young person. We commit to training. We commit to them being able to go to college 1 or 2 days a week or something like that. So, I mean, it's interesting, but we don't treat them any different to any of the other staff, really. We just see them as a team member. And
are they remote, or is it somebody local to yourself?
Yeah, local, yeah, Lincoln.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I know Stephen says that we need to do another Lincoln event. We promise we're going to do something next year. We've said that, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. I was so close to pulling the trigger recently. I was like, I'm going to message Nat saying, all right, we're doing it. But
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got real close. Yeah. I love the live stuff. You know me.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. I love the networking. I love, that's my favorite thing. Meeting people, like meeting.
Assuming the world's not gone nuts, Emmanuel, next year, OA Summit 2, Online Arbitrage Summit 2 next year.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. People are going to really be up for it, for sure. Have you got anything affiliate-wise on the horizon, Matt? Because, we get a lot of people asking about affiliate stuff. Do you think, obviously, you're a very strong expert in the field of affiliate marketing over the course of your entrepreneurial journey. Do you think that, I'm going to ask two-part. One, is affiliate stuff still good to do in this day and age, everything that we've spoken about? And two, do you see yourself in a position where you'll do anything down the affiliate route again for the audience?
I'm going to reveal something now. I had no plans to do any info product training. I've dabbled with the thought of it a month or two back, and then it shelved it, got busy with other stuff, and I had no plans to do any info product stuff, really. That's not to say I wouldn't, just no plans to. There's not much financial incentive for me to bother with it. And that's going to sound awful, but there's just not. Like, a lot goes into building a course.
Yeah.
A lot goes into doing a launch. Like, it can take me 6 weeks to write a webinar to even sell the thing. So 6 weeks of me pretty much full time writing something and then there's course content. Then there's the delivery of the thing. So I didn't have any intention to do such a thing, but just recently I made the decision that actually I wouldn't mind setting something up that is more regular thing. So like Elite Sellers Academy for intermediate and advanced Amazon sellers, it would be more a membership site for stuff I'm interested in. So nothing to do with Amazon, nothing to do with e-commerce. It wouldn't be even slightly e-commerce. If you're into e-commerce, you need to join Elite Sellers Academy for sure. But everything else. So, but what I'm really deciding on is who's my customer avatar, who's the ideal person that I want in there, like, and what does that look like? Because I'm good at certain stuff, and that's what that list was that I posted. And it's like, how does that?
That's why I asked you that question, because I saw the list.
How do I umbrella that into some kind of training? Do I focus on beginners, which I can find quite frustrating? And I know that sounds awful, but beginners are frustrating. Do I focus on that and serve more people? Or do I do what you've done, that, and basically said, I'm not taking beginners in Elite Sellers Academy. I'm only going to take me like intermediate and beyond, and serve them at a higher level teach them more stuff and maybe almost expect a little bit of success before they join? I don't know. And that's what I'm wrestling with. So do I just serve info product marketers? Do I serve people that are looking to start a business that's non-ecom related? I don't know. So I'm still in the very early planning stages of it, but I think I'm going to launch a membership site, and yeah, I should enjoy it. It should be fun because I miss teaching you guys stuff, but it just don't make any financial sense for me to spend 3 months of my life or longer building some info product, even if it's 100 grand. It's just
I know exactly what you mean, and there are things, and I mean, Elite Sellers totally converted me because I was frustrated with the course model, because I like to personally over deliver. It's part of my personality, it's part of my nature. If somebody is going to give me some of their money, I want them to have the best possible chance of, I can't march around people's houses and force them to do stuff, obviously. I want them to have the best and the most up-to-date, the most relevant information in order for them to put into action to do it. And the course model for me, I struggled with that a little bit because, and as anyone will tell you this in Elite Sellers, especially with Amazon, and we're moving on to different markets and everything next year, but especially with this stuff moves so and changes so quickly that I would literally make a course and it could be out of date within 3 months. And you've poured your life and soul, blood, sweat and tears. The last course I made, I physically lost my voice like twice while I was making it because
it's not fun either, is it, Nat? It's not fun making courses. It sucks. Making courses sucks. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to suck, but it sucks. But you know what? Doing live training, how fun is that? It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, delivering it live, up-to-date information, saying, right, okay, do you know what I taught you guys 4 weeks ago? Guess what? That's changed now. And we've got to do it this way. And being able to see people react to those changes and deliver that relevant information really, really quickly. If it's me, I don't really want to do any type of, I'm not saying never, because I do believe there are certain types of information that is best delivered through, push and go and point and do and that type of thing. Will I ever not do one again? I'm not saying never, but what I'm saying is that level of live training, being able to respond, seeing someone's comment on something that maybe you haven't even noticed and expanding on that comment, and
it helps so much. It helps so much with the learning process when you're able to feed back to them in real time and stuff. It's just better in every way. It's just better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like you say, things go out of date so fast. Well, in Elite Sellers Academy, they don't, because you get regular weekly contact with them every week, and anybody that's a current subscriber gets the latest information, and that's great. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about, we always talk about different things. And like I said, it is, about selling physical products at the end of the day. And the world moves so quickly on those type of things. So I'm really looking forward into some of the stuff that we're going to be doing next year. We're obviously wholesale mode at the moment, which is a model that I think is fantastic to sell on Amazon if you've got the ability. But I think what's interesting actually is this week's training. I think we're on part 4 of the wholesale of this week's training is, going into and talking about building relationships and, how to approach suppliers and all of these different types of things that, yes, you can get that in a course, but being able to talk about, in a conversational way, it just doesn't come across in like a video, if that makes sense. I don't think I can get what I want to get across in a video. So yeah, love it.
Some people love doing courses. It don't suck for everyone. I just think it sucks for me. That's all. But I don't want to put anyone off that's thinking about doing a course. It's a great way.
Great way
to earning money, and it's a great way to help people and all that stuff. But it's not. I don't like it so much. You can spend a long time on your own talking to a camera, and I much prefer to do it like this.
Yeah, it's so much more interesting. Karen says ESA is fab, so much great info. You should be can't speak tonight. Should be super proud of what you have. Thank you, Karen. I really do appreciate that. When you get a compliment like that from Karen, it's like,
oh yeah, it's genuine. Listen, Nat, the bottom line is, and I don't want to harp on too much about it, but Elite Sellers Academy and your training changed this game. You brought concepts to the UK that were not available anywhere else before. Like the stuff in Nat's training, nobody in this country was doing it. I can't speak for abroad because I don't follow what they do. But in this country, at least, I know all the sellers and I know what they're doing. No one was doing it. And you've really changed the game. And if they was doing it, they definitely weren't shouting about it. And the results that you get and the retention speaks for itself. It's unreal. Like, people stay in Elite Sellers Academy because it's the place to be. Like, it's the place to be, hands down. It's the best training. It's a great community. And if you're not a part of it, you're really missing out if you're in this game.
We do have fun in there, definitely, for sure.
Hopefully I can do the same, but for whatever else it is.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting. So I know that that's something that I think will definitely be, because, you know, there is still great money to be earned in that type of field, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't really answer your question about affiliate marketing.
You didn't, actually.
Affiliate marketing's huge. It's always been huge since the birth of the internet. It's massive. Like affiliate marketing ain't going nowhere. I still earn good money every single month from a whole bunch of affiliate programs I've not promoted in years. And that's the power of it. Like, as long as you promote the right stuff, you can earn money for years without doing anything extra. And that's where I'm at. But I mean, it's not a primary focus of mine, but definitely know my way around affiliate marketing for sure.
For sure. Right, I'm going to do one more question.
Okay.
The numbers
I think we've bored everyone. We've bored everyone away.
Absolutely.
How many's on now? How many's on now?
We are at 38 still. So
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, one more question, because like I said, I know that you're within this field as well. Louise has asked, I've got a slight obsession with property. So over the next few months, would you say it would be better to do buy-to-let, holiday-let, or still do flips?
When she says still do flips, that suggests that she's probably already been doing flips. If you can find the deals and flip them, then I would continue to do flips. Because I think there's going to be a property market crash at some point before the end of next year. Could be this year, it could be October, like it could be this month, or it could be a year from now. I don't know when it'll be, but before end of 2022, I expect there's going to be a property crash, stock market crash, and an economic turmoil, should we say. So if you can get in a house and get out of it quick, then flips is not a bad idea. But at some point, I expect property prices to probably come down. And all that labor that's really expensive now and those materials that's really expensive, all of that stuff will probably normalize because all my mates were brickies when in 2008 and they bloody all lost their jobs, and then you couldn't get a job as a brickie for love no money for a couple of years, and these tradesmen that are on ultra money, like earning loads of money and enjoying it, but it was just the same before. Like, it was 2007, they're all earning really good money. There's work everywhere, and it's just the same right now. So I don't know. We're doing a flip currently. So we're just going through a process of buying a bungalow, and we're going to do it up and flip it. But there's always a chance we could get caught on the wrong side of that and the market drops out. So we'll be holding it. But that's part of the risk, I guess. You could wait forever for this crash and it not come. But I'm also buying 2 buy-to-lets as well, or meant to be. The vendors dragging the feet. So to answer your question, I think that whatever makes sense, you should do. So I'm buying these buy-to-lets because they're about, I don't know, they're a percentage below market value. So it makes sense for me. They've got tenants. So it's just cash flow. I just buy them and I get the cash flow instead. And they are below market value. The flips, we're doing flips and buy-to-lets. So I don't know. The holiday let sounds like a good idea. I'd do that if it made sense too. But ultimately, do it all if it makes money. Do whichever one suits you.
It's interesting. Sean's just said, sit back and watch the show. Too many people buying top end, thinking prices will never go down. I took advantage of the 2008 crash. I'll do the same with the next crash, but build a property portfolio. Meanwhile, keep growing online. And do you know what's interesting, Matt? We spoke about this last time we spoke. you and I, we were talking about, do you remember we were talking about, and properties come up, we were talking about being a certain age. Matt and I are a similar age, you know, I've just turned 40, Matt's 41. And we were talking about how people of our age, because I do think it's the people in the 40s that this is affecting the most, how they're looking at their kind of asset vehicles moving forward. I think if you're 40, I think you're stuck in the middle of what is the future and what is, you know, potentially more traditional assets. And do you remember us having this conversation? We were talking about
NFTs, crypto.
Yeah, crypto, you know, all that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think if you are 40 now or around that kind of age, don't get me wrong, I don't think, oh, you're either in one or the other, or is that it? But you do kind of have to take that moment of, okay, am I going to get on board with what many consider to be the future and look at the more kind of digital asset investment vehicles? Or am I going to stick with what are the more kind of traditional property, buy to let, you know, building that type of thing? And it'd be interesting to see for the people who are still watching this, and, you know, depending on what kind of age you are and how it affects you, is that something that you guys are thinking about? Is it something that, if you're a certain age, are you thinking, oh, okay, no, I'm going to stick with the more traditional route? That's the route that I'm going to go down. Because I hope you don't mind me saying, Matt, because when we had this conversation, you were like, no, I'm going to stick with more the traditional way of doing it. Whereas we were talking about, you know, because I think it surprised you to say that you didn't know that we were in as much digitally, you know, as we were. And you thought, for someone, you know, knowing me for a few years, you were quite surprised to hear that.
Very surprised how deep you were in on the digital side of things. I understand everyone dabbling. I own a little bit of Bitcoin. Karen owns a little bit of Bitcoin, but you own a lot of stuff that I wouldn't expect you to own. So, like, I think NFTs are garbage. I think the concept's great. I think the technology's great. I think NFTs are a joke. I think I'm really not impressed by it. And I know that's not popular opinion. I am a dinosaur. I like property. I like property. I like stocks and shares. I like businesses. I like real world stuff you can touch and feel. I like that. It feels safe to me. It's more conservative. You don't earn as big rewards or anything like that. But what I see with cryptocurrency and NFTs is, and I know this is not popular opinion, and people will be like, "Oh, stop saying that, Matt." But I see them as speculative, high risk, could potentially go to zero. You know, for me, they're not safe investments. So if you're 20 years old and you're just starting out, throw your money at it, see what happens. If it don't work out, cool, you go again. And if you're 60 years old and you're buying NFTs and crypto, I mean, arguably, what are you thinking? You might get double, triple digit returns, but who's going to hold the bag when a China happens? So China have just banned like cryptocurrencies and all that stuff, haven't they? Well, that's because of the digital yuan that's coming. If you say it like that, yuan. The digital yuan.
Oh, yuan.
That's coming. So they don't want to compete in currency. They don't want these unregulated, uncontrollable cryptocurrencies and all that stuff. When the digital yuan come in, they want to control that. And our governments are going to be no different. What do you think the US, when they bring the digital dollar in, are going to be all right with, like, you Bitcoin guys just carrying on outside of the system? No, they're not. They're not going to be all right with it. So I don't know when it's going to come, but there's going to be huge lawsuits. There's going to be bans. There's going to be legal challenges. And I think there's going to be massive attacks by the global elite. The same scumbags that I was talking about earlier are going to attack those things. Maybe not NFTs. I think a lot of people are chasing get-rich-quick schemes. And that's what they are. They hear about this new thing, NFTs, and it's a picture of a dog with it smoking a cigarette and a gold chain on, made in Microsoft Paint. And I know that there's only...
How did you know we had that one?
Huh? Yeah, you had that. But you know my feelings about all this. For me, it's too out there. I'm not saying it won't take off. I'm not saying people aren't making lots of money at it. But for me, I'd rather take my 5, 6, 7% a year and know that in 20 years' time, somebody's still living in that house I bought, or own a piece of a company that's paying me real dividends, and that's a real business that's trading and going to grow. It's got real people working for it, real customers. Much prefer that to something that 1 minute Elon Musk's saying you need to get behind it, the next minute he's saying we can't do it because it's burning the world's resources. It's like, I don't know. That stuff, high risk, high reward, not for me. That's how I feel.
Michael says SWP NFTs coming soon. I don't think we'll be going down that route for sure. I think it's very niche. It's very specialist kind of thing. But who knows? Never say never in the future. Obviously, I love what Sean's put. Bank of England are doing Bitcoin. Yep. Amazing. Whoever came up with that name, give them a medal.
But it's the way the global elite are moving. They're not going to lose control of that stuff. They're all going to go digital. Mm-hmm. So you think they're going to be all right with you with a currency? And I know people are trying to say, well, Bitcoin is not a currency. It's like digital gold. But you think they're going to be all right long term with something that's outside the system? And I know they can tax it and they could trace who's bought it and sold it and stuff. But things like Monero, like, you think they're going to be all right with that long term? You say, oh, they can't do anything about it. Well, yeah, just like they can't stop you.
I personally believe
they can't stop you from selling drugs. But if they catch you selling drugs, you go into prison. So it's like they can't stop you buying and selling stuff with Monero, but they can say that's not allowed here. So if you do it, you potentially go into prison. So that's the way I see it. And I realize that crypto is probably here to stay. NFTs are probably here to stay. But I'm a dinosaur. I don't do it as my active business. It's just I took a little bit of money aside and I choose to throw it into traditional investments because that's what feels safe to me.
It's really interesting. And I think we could do a whole nother, episode on, traditional versus future assets and things like that. Because I think a lot of people, again, very much within this Amazon space, it's like, when I first started selling on Amazon, there was a lot of people that merged the property world with Amazon. It seemed to be a very strong link between the two businesses. Whereas I do think the cryptocurrency, I feel that's a third wheel coming in, definitely, that's going to have a strong...
The get-rich-quick crowd are in crypto and NFTs. Now, I'm not selling them short. Like I say, I've got some crypto. Like I'm not trying to attack them, and I'm not saying you hodlers won't make a load of money and you won't live happily ever after. You probably will, but for me, it's just outside of my risk profile. That's all. But yeah, it's a very interesting discussion, and it's interesting to see it all play out for sure.
Yeah, really. Never mind the investment box. I think there's been a lot of never mind the bond box. Never mind the conspiracy box. Never mind the secret box. Never mind the investment box. So printed money in the system with not enough real assets to chase. So people are buying digital tulips.
The government in the US have printed 38% of their, I think these are the rough numbers anyway, 38% of the entire money supply ever been printed in the US was printed over the last 12 months, I think it is. 38%. So that money's coming. That money's not going into. I mean, it maybe a bit of it's going into the hands of the poor and getting spent on whatever, but a lot of it's going straight into things like crypto, precious metals, stocks and shares, property, and it's creating asset bubbles everywhere that are going to pop. They're all going to pop. Bitcoin's not going to do this when the stock market does that. Bitcoin's going to do that when the stock market does that. That it just is. It just is. But that's only my opinion, not investment advice. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Emmanuel, that's very kind of you to say. Retention of ESA members is a great barometer of success. Thank you for saying that. Really appreciate that. Well, we've gone nearly to the 2 hours. It's always going to be a 2-hour session when Mr. Webley's here, for sure, because we have so much to talk about, because obviously we have so many regular guests that come on now. You don't come on as often as you used to. So we always like to have a good kind of catch up. I'm sorry if your question or or whatever didn't get answered tonight, but we do have beds to go to, and so I'm conscious of keeping everyone here on for long. Darren says love ESA. Oh, lots of ESA love tonight.
ESA is amazing. I don't say it. It's amazing. What you do with the community there and the training you do there, it's just unreal. It's just great. If you're not a part of it, what you thinking?
I get all like,
I know. I can say that. I can say that with conviction because I truly believe it now. I see the results. I see the retention. I see how few people leave. People leave if they're not getting value. People leave if they're not enjoying what they're learning, and if they're not getting value from the community and the training, they don't leave. They basically don't leave. Like, people just stay, and there's a reason for that. So if you're not in ESA, Elite Sellers Academy, get yourself in there, you nutters.
We love it. We do love it for sure. Right. Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate it tonight. Who's loved having Matt on tonight? Come back again very soon, because I think it's something that people really love seeing you. Facebook mucked us up a little bit earlier on, I think, with all the glitchy stuff. But I think people finally found us in the end, because I think people are always really interesting. You've got such a wide breadth of and depth, of experience in this particular, world of entrepreneurialism, that I think people are always really keen to hear what you've got to say, for sure.
Thanks, Nat. I always think we're just boring them, and they're thinking, God, when they're going to get to the Amazon stuff.
Do you know what? I think, spoiler alert, whenever Matt comes on, we're probably not going to talk about much Amazon related, in that respect. But at the end of the day, we did try.
I did try.
We did make some good points. Shipping prices, what we're talking about. I think we're starting to see stabilization of prices, of opportunity. Things, I think the world is starting to return to normal a little bit. We've got over the crazy, whatever the new normal is going to be, whatever way you want to look at it. So I think we're starting to see, those green shoots of opportunity starting to appear for next year, with, for whatever people want to go into within the space. So yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Can I just end it on saying I'm super positive about the future of business and things like that. Please don't think that I'm anti-business. I think all the tyranny and the nonsense that's going on in the world, I think that good people are waking up every day and they are fighting it in their own way. People like Joe Rogan, people like Russell Brand, these people are waking people up, and it's amazing to see. James O'Keefe, they're waking people up. People are pushing back. And I think that the globalists that kind of crush capitalism, crush what we know and love as entrepreneurs, I think they're going to have a harder fight on their hands than they realize. So I am positive about it. It's going to be a bumpy journey. But you know what? We've got a window, boys and girls. We've got a window either way. Let's make some money.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean said, I don't know if that's the right thing to say after last night, as long as they don't turn our electricity and internet off.
Yeah. Well, that's coming, isn't it? That's coming. Let's face it, Sean. That's coming.
Do you know what? What I've loved about tonight's Never Mind the Buy Box is we've all learned something. It might not have been what you expected to learn.
Yeah.
When you come on, but I think we've definitely all learned something tonight. So Matt, thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be back to talk about some Amazon stuff next week.
Yeah. Normal Amazon programming resumes next week. Guys, when you come off here, go to Project Veritas on YouTube and watch the last few videos if you want a little peep into what I'm talking about. It's all factual, just undercover journalist footage. Project Veritas
piqued my curiosity, and I am going to look it up straight after this. I really am.
Insiders that have been filmed. They've been filmed undercover style, and it's just the truth. So go watch it, and then you'll know a little bit. It's very gentle. That's the surface. That's licking the red pill, not swallowing it.
No, I don't want to take the red pill.
A lot of people won't have even licked the red pill before. So make sure you go watch it.
Well, I like to know, but I don't want to do anything about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, have a little look. Just have a little look, and you'll have a little look. I think there's 4 videos he's released. He's releasing more, but it's just a little bit outside of what you'll have seen in the mainstream. And he's getting censored in real time right now, even though he's trending on Twitter. Last I knew, he's been banned off Twitter, but they still managed to get it trending with people like me that are sharing with you that you should go watch them videos.
Michael says, I'm with you. Very interesting. Apparently we need a Nat and Matt NFT. That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, like I said, I like to know what's going on, and I know what's going on, but I don't care until it happens.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to be. You'll be happier that way. No, I wish I didn't.
Yeah,
absolutely. Spend more time worrying about what's going to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. And it always does, but I worry about it until it does, whereas everyone else don't know it till it is.
I honestly do believe it's one of my biggest assets is living in the now.
Yeah.
Not worrying too much about the future, because I really don't.
It's why animals are happy. They just live in the moment. They don't think about the job interview they got next week, or like it's just like, oh, I'm hungry, I'll go get some food.
Yeah,
they just love it. Like, and they're just like, oh, I want to play, so I'm going to play. Like, we get bogged down in all this kind of nonsense and who said, she said, and all that. I bet no dog ever thought, oh, that other dog called me a nasty woof name. Like, they don't think things like that, and they're just happier for it.
Great example is the way that I definitely refer to myself is, you know, being a bit of a Christmas turkey. At the end of the day, you don't want to know Christmas. They don't want a calendar to know when, you know, when the time is going to happen. And, you know, that's exactly how I feel.
I think the difference,
live their lives.
I think the difference is with me is I know I'm a turkey and I know I'm heading for that oven. But when I see them coming for me, I'm gonna go for them. I think that's the difference. I got that. I'm gonna fight them, and if it's got to be me that fights them, then I'll fight them. I'll sacrifice my life to fight them if I have to.
Ooh, John Connor.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. If I've got to step up to the plate and do something you'd never expect me to do for the greater good of humanity, I'll do that if we get there. But I don't think we will. I think good people are waking up. Good people are fighting now, sharing their thoughts and the truth. And they're just going to have to switch to a new narrative to get their next thing, which is what they're going to do. Climate change, lockdowns, and all that stuff incoming.
That's an interesting comment. Sean says, I've learned that you can program people and they wouldn't think twice. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I like that. We're already at war. Right, on that note, before we go back down the rabbit hole, thanks everyone for watching. It's definitely been an interesting one tonight. Really enjoyed it. I think some great chat's been going on, and yeah, lots of I'll be interested to see the comment numbers after this. I reckon they're going to be through the roof, absolutely. So yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of awakened SWPers, and never mind the Barbox crew.
Absolutely, for sure. So Matt, thanks for joining us. It's been amazing.
Thanks for inviting me, Nat.
Yeah, and we'll see everyone soon. I'll see everyone 7 o'clock next week. Take care.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Bye.